your talking points are generally, you don't even know what's happening. But all of a sudden it's like, wow, I really have great ideas about this. And then someone goes, yeah, those are the talking points. I'm like, how did I get them in my head? Good question, but they're there. So I started to feel like my own voice was being, kind of co-opted by this very small lefty agenda, whatever that is in this country. All I knew is that being a progressive talk radio personality, you couldn't alienate everyone at once, but you could piss off small leftist factions within the community. You get calls like, fish are animals too. And you'd be like, what? Well, you talked about being a pescatarian, and that's not really, righteous. And I'm like, really? This is what we're talking about? Tom DeLay is destroying Texas. So it became fragmented and difficult to appease everybody, and no one was ever happy. And a couple of things happened that sort of changed my life during that. The first thing was, I was the only guy. See, I was profoundly insecure. I never thought I was doing a good job, or I really knew what I was talking about. So I would be the guy that would go through all the emails that came to the station. That's what I would do. I would just read emails to get sort of like the buzz of like, maybe somebody likes me. And there was an email once that said, fire Marc Maron. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He should shut his mouth and let the adults talk. So he didn't know that I was the only one reading this mail. Generally, no one reads the mail that comes to the radio station. But I did every day, as opposed to read the briefing. So I, of course, wrote back and said, what is it about Marc Maron that you really don't like? And he said he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a child, he's not sophisticated, he doesn't know anything about politics. And then I wrote back, well, I think he's pretty funny, though. Don't you think he's pretty funny? And the guy sort of like writes back and says, look, I'm not listening to this for humor. There's a war to be fought here. We've got to fight the good fight. There's a lot of things at stake here. And then I wrote back, I think you're taking it a little too seriously, and I happen to like Marc Maron. and eventually it got to the point where I identified myself to the guy. And this went on for a few more exchanges until finally that guy actually wrote me and said, why do you keep emailing me?